Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently at Fuji Speedway at the Hachimaru meet. This is a 80s and 90s Japanese car meet. Hachi meaning 8, Maru meaning circle. And there is quite the showing. There's a ton of stuff here that I know, and there's a ton more stuff that I actually don't know. I'm not super familiar with every 80s Japanese cars. 90s stuff I'm pretty on top of. Early 2000s stuff also pretty on top of, but a lot of the 80s stuff the States never got. So we're gonna walk around, I'll point out some cool stuff that I see, and I hope you guys enjoy. I think it's only appropriate that the first car we show today is the car that we actually arrived in. This is Yuto's B12 Nissan Sunny. Now, in America, this is just a normal, B12 Nissan Sentra. Nothing too fancy, but in Japan, these are actually pretty darn rare. And at this meet, I think there are 3, and there's people geeking out over these. I don't know why, but for some reason, the B12 Sunny is renowned in Japan. And I don't believe they ever came in a 2-door, which is my version back in the States, but super cool to see a bunch of love for these cars here. There's actually less of these than any other car I've seen here. There's a million R31 Skylines, there's tons of Zs, but there's only 3 of these. Now in Japan, a bunch of the cars are a tiny bit different from the ones in the States. Well, I guess I should say the ones in the States are a tiny bit different from the ones in Japan, because in Japan, this is a Japanese spec bumper right here, but in North America, this bumper will come out another couple inches. Also, all the cars here are right-hand drive. So America changes quite a bit of stuff for safety standards, and there's a lot less variants that America got. Japan got every variant of every car, and America only got a select few. Now here we have an NA Roadster. In America, obviously a Miata. Beautiful red interior, red soft top. I think Miatas are one of the best cars for wooden shift knob, handbrake, and wheel. It just fits the car so well. This thing is looking pretty minty, although I think you could use a new set of tires as they're looking pretty dry rotted. And if you haven't seen any cars in Japan, this is your shaken sticker. So that's basically your registration sticker that every car should have, either on the outside, or I don't think you technically need to display it, so a lot of people will just keep it in their glove box. And we are parked up next to this R34 GTR. It's got a cute little carbon fiber NACTA duct. I don't really know why it's in that placement because the intakes are over here, but I guess that's right where the turbo sits, so that could be a reason why they have the duct there. We're on some BBSs and some Toyo R888Rs, it looks like. And we've got the Z-Tune fenders. That's why these fenders stick out like crazy right here. Gives it a very different profile. We got some carbon fiber bits, some green weave carbon on the back splitter. We've got a R32 non-GTR right here. It has slightly different body lines, and then also these tail lights are not GTR tail lights. Those are going to be like a GTST tail light. We've got some interestingly painted calipers, and then a fake little like center lock looking hubcap over the front. And then it's also a lot less, so these are GTS headlights. They've decided to throw a torque wrench on their non-existent center locks with an Impool sticker, very nice. We got a Silvia here, S12. These are super popular here. I would love to see it on some smaller wheels and tires, but it's still better fitment than ginormous wheels. And then these things came in some amazing two-tone colors, but this is just the grayish silver all the way around. We've got a great looking Chaser over here, fairly stock. Stock wheels, stock looking ride height. Toyota doilies, so those doilies right there are actually Toyota OEM. We've got a manual. These are going to be 1JZ here, well, anywhere. We never got a Chaser in America. An older Skyline. Conquest. Is this a Mitsubishi? I believe that this is a Mitsubishi. I'm going to check the back like a noob. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, doesn't say anything. It's either a Mitsubishi or it's a Nissan. I'm not super familiar with this. Here we have a beautiful RS Turbo R31 Nissan Skyline. I believe that the RS Turbo is the top of the line, although there could be one more that's on top of this, like a no, I think there's one more Skyline of the R30 variant that's a higher trim level than this, potentially. But if not, then this is top of the line. A super cool two-tone factory, red and black. Looks amazing. There's a GTS R31 wagon. I have never seen this before. This is crazy. Yeah, I know nothing about this. I have not seen a wagon variant. That's amazing. I'm sure if you're familiar at all with Japanese cars, you'll know what this is. This is a Hachiroku here in Japan, or 86 on Watanabe's. Wow, carbon hood, carbon housings for the headlights, entirely carbon housings for the headlights. That's cool to see. Sometimes people will just do like a carbon cap, but this looks to be the entire housing. Very nice to see. Carbon mirror caps, or are they entirely carbon mirrors? Those are just caps. Wow, look at that. I don't know if you can see. It might be too dark, but their whole glove box has been turned into a big gauge cluster. I hope you guys can hear me over the Japanese people yelling over the speakers. Mark 1 MR2. This would be an AW11. These have a special place in my heart. These were one of the first cars that I ever really wanted and never got. But yeah, mid-engine. I believe these are also called like a midship runabout or something like that, because of the engine being in the rear. I think these wheels suit the car pretty well. The smaller equipped wheels. Smaller wheels are pretty much necessary on older 80s and 90s cars, or else they look like really strange. And they just look so off with larger wheels. This thing looks ridiculous. This thing's half done in a lot of ways and not at all done in most ways. You need completely different wheels. You're gonna need different suspension. You're gonna need a lot of stuff for this to finish up, but interesting. Stuff slammed on stock wheels is always kind of funny to see, especially in the rear here. Look how much it tows and cambers in when you slam the rear and don't do anything to it. I am a super big fan of this Z right here. These like completely filled in wheels look amazing. That's such a cool look for the car. And then you can run stock brake calipers unpainted and no one will make fun of you, because nobody can see them. This rear end is also pretty unique. These old headlight, rear taillight housings look funky. Harnesses. I like to see the harness actually going to something structural, like a rear strut tower brace. Sometimes people will just do like a harness and then just like put the harness to nothing. So not very safe at all. You're safer without doing a harness at all at that point. Oh, here's what I was talking about. A beautiful seafoam green two-tone Silvia. So this is the same as that original Silvia we saw, and these are stock R32 wheels actually on this thing. Obviously, if you own an R32, you're going to take off your stockies, and so there's a lot of people actually running stock R32 wheels on other Nissans because of that. They're a pretty good looking stock wheel. I mean, like chonky 5-spoke, so carbon fiber hood. Love to see it. There's still people pulling in, so I'm going to try and get everything, but another Skyline, an NX with a ton of aero, a lot of bolt-on stuff. Bolt-on stuff can look good, and it can also look bad. This one, I think it suits the car because it's all black and white, and then it's got black hardware, and so, yep. I believe that this is a Nissan Sunny truck, but I could also be wrong, but it looks super good. We got the bike in the back. We got the prototipo, the Momo prototipo. That's actually a very small prototipo. And then again, the smaller wheels fit the car, or the truck in this case. The tiny little mini truck. R34 on Advan GTs. I'm seeing these wheels a lot more. It used to be all, you know, TE37s, but these Advan GTs are definitely kicking up in popularity. And then looks like over here is a Mark 1 Soarer, I believe. Mark 1 or Mark 2. I don't know if there's huge body differences between those, but wow. Look at this. I had no idea that these did this. This is amazing. You've got, so once this fully collapses and then this piece goes down, you've basically got like a, this is weird. It's like it'd be like an El Camino for some reason is what it reminds me of, even though it's not at all what an El Camino would do. Look at that all wooden Nardi in there. Is this a Mark? Is this a Soarer? I can't tell. I'm pretty sure this is just a Toyota Mark II. I think that's all it is. Another Mark 1 MR2. Another Toyota Mark II. Another, I think that this might be an R30 Skyline. Automatic. Yeah, I believe that this is an R30 Skyline. All the other ones we've seen so far today have been R31 Skylines. These wheels are great. These are stock wheels. That's a funky wheel. 80s and 90s wheels are where wheels peaked. Everything else has been downhill. Yeah, Mitsubishi Starion. The paint on this looks like glass. This dude polished it the night before. So cool. As soon as people pull up, you see everybody pull out a rag and they start doing a quick polish, getting off all the road grime. Oh, look. Here's these completely filled in wheels again. I have to say they don't look as good on the Silvia. It could also be because they're, I think, maybe 2 sizes too big. If these were 13s, I think you'd be dialed, but these are 15s. They look a little bit big on this. And same with this. Just a little bit too big. But nowadays it's hard to find smaller wheels. So you have to get a period correct wheel, or you have to hope that the wheels you want, they make in, you know, a 13 or 14. Once you start getting into the 15s and 16s on these older cars, they start to look very off. See, oh look, so we got some TEs at like a 13 over here. This is hilarious. They've done a whole R31 RS Turbo livery. I don't even know what this is. R32 GTR. This thing is a little bit worse for wear. Side skirt's falling off a little bit. Are these? No, I thought they were Impul wheels for a second, but I don't believe so. I feel like this thing starts with a P. I want to say the name starts with a P, but I can't remember exactly what it is. We've got another R32 Asani. This is cool. These work wheels like almost pay homage to the OEM R32 wheels, but obviously with a huge polished barrel. But that's nice. An Aristo. Another R31. Is this a Chaser over here? Yep. Chaser. Two-tone Silvia. So here's another. This is the lighter silver and the darker silver two-tone. Oh, and we got a little BMW action. Is this a 328? No, this is a 325. They even got the 325i license plate to go with it. Left-hand drive, automatic. We were cruising with this 280 ZX Fair Lady on the way over here. It's got the little NACTA duck up top. The paint is a little bit worse for wear, but the wide body looks really good. R31 carbon hood. Are these real HKS Recaros? Or confetti Recaros? I wonder. It was like $1,000 a seat. BZ Touring Corolla. Never heard of this in my life. This is like one of those things that would just like randomly be all-wheel drive for no reason. I don't know if it is. This two-tone looks amazing. They got to bring back the two-tone. The two-tone is great. E36 non-M3, although it's got a bunch of M. I don't know. The M badges confuse me. I wonder if this is just an M package, because I don't know if they ever came in 4-door, although they could have. If they did come in 4-door, they never came to America as far as I know. R32, white. This is like kind of my dream spec right here. I mean, not these wheels or anything else. Okay, white. White would kind of be a dream spec. Oh, these more R32 stockies. Yep. Man, yeah, so all the R32s have aftermarket wheels, and then everything else has just got the R32 stockies. I wonder, this could be this guy's wheels right here. You never know. That guy probably sold them to Up Garage. This guy probably bought them from Up Garage. Just tossed them in. White Sylvia. I'm a big fan of these tri-spokes here. These are giving me Saab vibes. Hachidoku, mismatched front and rears. You know, normally, well, it's kind of funny how everything trickles down. Like you'd run mismatched front and rears if you're doing normally is drift stuff, is you just have one set of fronts and then you've got a bunch of different sets of rear wheels and tires already mounted, and then you can just keep swapping out when you're at the track. It's funny to see all this stuff trickle down to street cars, because by the looks of things, this guy is not drifting this. But or you want to flex that you have multiple sets of wheels. Oh yeah, baby. Advan Onis, signed by, I assume, that guy who probably made them. So this guy got 5? This guy's got a spare. I love the Advan Onis. These are actually huge for Advan Onis. The newest ones only come in like very small sizes, but they have a bunch of different variants. Another Soarer wagon. So cool to see people just chilling out with their tables. They're folding tables and chairs. Why does Japan do car meets so much better? Like, I get it, like this one is paid and is at Fuji Speedway, it's got a bit of prestige, they've been doing it for a long time, but still, like, in America, right now, they would be blasting music. Like, every car here would just have subs and be blasting music. This is what I'm talking right here. This, here, we'll go over to the hopefully sunny side. This is perfect. A meaty tire, a small wheel. It looks phenomenal. It looks so good on this. Here too, tiny wheel, meaty tire. Again, these filled in wheels. These are awesome. A Crown wagon, doilies, beautiful. What is this? This looks ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is amazing. Why does this look OEM? There's no way, right? It looks OEM. This Mazda Lantis? Is this? Oh, it is OEM. I love this. This is probably the coolest thing I've seen today. See, when you've lived in Japan for as long as I have, aka like a month, you see a lot of R31s, you see a lot of R32s, 34s. You start to get just the tiniest, not a lot jaded, just the tiniest bit jaded, but stuff like this. I have never seen this before in my life. Manual. I wonder what this has. Like, I assume a 4-cylinder, but I wonder what it is. It's like Bayside. This Bayside blue. That guy's nice. Like a Bayside blue 4-door R32. BBSs look a little bit tired. They could use some loving. RB20 DET. Oh. No, he swapped it with an RB26. from if you don't read it, all these pretty much look the same. A little bit of a hot boy drifty Sylvia setup right here. It's funny, he's got like the grippy tires, but then like cambered out so he has no grip. It'd be like a sicky summer tire. NSX, Honda. There's a Honda and there's an Acura NSX, same thing, just different badge. Chaser, 1JZ baby. All the Stitch 2s right here. Super tiny cone filter. This is pretty hilarious. This is a Laurel, and they've swapped in an SR20. These normally come with an RB, but it's got a tiny little battery. Some crazy looking piping right here. I guess, like, yeah, you got a ton of room now that you took out your inline 6 and put a 4-cylinder in. Cool. I like when people do swaps and take engines from the same like manufacturer and put them in. So like RB and SR swaps and stuff like that. 1J and 2J swaps. When you start swapping like 1Js into like R chassis, that's when it gets like a little bit funky for me. Look at this yellow Stagia. Wonder if the paint cone is EV1 like the R34. This is cool. I don't know what this is. See, like, this is the kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, I know what a Stagia is, I know what an R34 is, and then this comes along, and I've got no idea what this is. Oh, this is a Mitsubishi Mirage? Don't we have these? Or a weird... Don't we have... I feel like America got a Mirage. I could be wrong, though. I could easily be wrong. Galant. These are cool. I don't think we didn't get these either. Mitsubishi made some cool stuff other than just Evos, but America never got any of it. That right there is Mount Fuji. Even this close, you still won't get to see it. Fuji-san is shy. Okay, I could be mistaken, but R31, R30, I believe the headlights are kind of the biggest giveaway, but other than that, they're a pretty darn similar looking car. And then you go from this to an R32, completely different. Rounded everywhere. That's when you start to break into late 80s. That's early 80s. Yeah, so you go straight from that to something like this, all rounded off. This is your GTS4. So this is going to be all-wheel drive, but it's not going to be a GTR. So this won't, as far as I know, come with an RB26DE TT. It might come with an RB26DE T or something of the sort. But yeah, this is not your full GTR spec. It's also a 4-door, not a 2-door. Soarer, man, I love a Mark 1 Soarer. Amazing. I like the wheel and tire choice. Not what I would run cambered out in the rear like that, but still looks good and looks like it fits the car. I see a bunch of people putting their floor mats or a floor mat under their car. I wonder if that's because their car's leaking. It's got to be. So considerate. The Japanese people are so considerate. Even when your car's leaking oil, you know. Oh yeah, I saw this earlier. This is hilarious. Check this out right here. R32 GTR, I believe, with a roof rack and skis. I'd love to imagine he takes us to the mountain like this. I mean, it's all-wheel drive, you know. It's an all-whel drive car. Take it to the mountain. Put some skis on it. I've taken the Sentra to the mountain. I've gone snowboarding with the Sentra. Look at this Porsche. I'm going to say it's a 968, and I'm only saying that because of the... Oh, nice roof wheels. I'm only saying that because of the license plate. Porsches scare me. If it's not a 930 and it's not a slant nose... Okay, actually, all I can say is that it's either a slant nose or a 911. Past that, Porsches are scary and confusing. Stagia. I love R34 front end swaps on these, but they are pretty involved. You need to do hood, fenders, bumper, grille, headlights, everything. As far as I know, everything needs to be swapped. You can't just throw a bumper on. Evo. Man, a lot of Soarers. A lot of Soarers out here. These totally look like Saab wheels. Selbach? That's got to be a Saab wheel, right? Look at this. Rusted out AE86 Hachiroku with a canoe on top and a cage. Watanabe's and fishing gear. This guy's going straight to the lake after this, and a cooler. Fishing gear, a net, rods, a cooler, a canoe. This guy's going straight to the lake right after this meet. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, easy to throw your canoe up. Nice looking 180. In America, this would be a 240. Somewhere else, it's a 200 SX. Here, it's a 180. They decided to change the name with every continent and every country that car went to. See, this kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Don't know what this is. Like, I could guess, like, that's probably a Nissan. This is probably a Toyota. This is probably another Nissan. But I'm not 100% sure on what all these models are. This, however, is beautiful. R32 GTR red. The engine base repainted. It looks like it's been stitch welded right there along the strut towers. Very nice. It looks like a titanium strut tower brace right there too. Some little interior goodies. I wonder if that's a sequential. That looks like a sequential. That's got to be a sequential. It's only got one gate. Wonder if I can find the owner and ask. Ooh, red weave carbon hood. The black painted turbo is super cool too. There's a better look at that shifter. There's only one gate, but from here, the bell housing looks like a stock trans. So I wonder, I have seen some stuff where people will use like a pneumatic actuator like on their manual trans so they can run it like a sequential, but I really have no idea. Blitz radiator, red carbon splitter. Okay, this is super cool. So I have a friend named Paul in America who's got a Toyota Serra, and he's got one of those little Honda scooters too. This is like his twin right here. The little Honda electric thing and the Serra. I wonder. So I think that's the funk box that he was talking about. There's a whole other video where we go over one of these cars. These seats are amazing. I think that's like an air freshener thing, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh yeah, I basically did a whole review of one of these cars in America. Now I'm seeing one in its native place, its native country, where it makes birth. Yep, looks like the one I filmed in America. Although that little sun bit there is different. Oh, and he's got the shades. I don't believe Paul has these shades. He's got like big panels that go there. That's funny. See, this is the kind of thing I have no idea what this is. What's a Toyota Synos? Like, how am I supposed to know what this is? I don't know what this is. Is this like the Toyota Echo? Is that what we got? Or the Toyota Corsa? I don't know what any of this stuff is. Here's another Toyota Corsa. Okay. Here is the other B12s. So this flyer is saying it's got a CA16DE, which is actually a very tunable twin cam 1.6 as opposed to the single cam 1.6 that these got in America, the GA16i. So now here's something I actually know about, guys. So in America, this engine that's in this thing would have been in like a Pulsar, and we never got these in this car, but it looks like this thing does have it. These things also have the shorter sunny bumpers, and this thing is also crazy too. This 305RE, this is another technically B12 sunny variant, but this thing is completely different from what we got. And they make like a 305RS, that thing's got that engine in there, and then that thing's crazy. And these also came with a digital dash that is super cool. These are two really rare cars here. So there's 3 of those, and actually only one of those with that engine package here, and there's only one of these. This is Japan, where Skylines are common and Sentras are not. 180SX, 300ZX with goofy looking wheels. See, this is what I'm talking about. Not the biggest fan of that. This one is not as bad, honestly. This thing looks decent. This one looks like a turbo model. We got the vent right there, or I guess technically the intake. Two-tone Sylvia. That wing looks really good on it. I see a lot of people take this wing off, or they don't come with it. S chassis. Wow, the Soarer game. So many Soarers out here. BMW. This is an 8 Series? No, 5 Series. I'm a goofball. I don't know my BMWs either. This R33's got some amazing aero. It's got some Nismo LMGT2 wheels, I believe. The wing is a little bit goofy, but the body on this looks crazy. A couple SA RX-7s. This is the variant before the FC, and the FC is the variant before the FD, which is one, if you know anything about cars, you know the FD. You probably know the FC. You might not know this one, but this is the one before the FC. The SA and the SB. And this is definitely not a factory paint job. If this pinstriping stuff is factory, that's really cool looking. I have to believe it is, because that turbo font looks the same as that turbo font. Cool. Mitsubishi GTO. In America, this is 3000 GT, because Pontiac GTO took the GTO moniker, so. But that's what they are here. And this is an AZ1. This thing is really cute. Here we go. A gazillion dress-up bolts, tons of bracing in the front, which I mean, like, makes sense. This thing probably flexes quite a bit factory. Wow, look at all the dress-up stuff this guy did. Red and blue. This thing's nosed out. S15. Actually, very few S15s here. I guess because... Actually, I don't know why. There's very few S15s here. Toyota 11, GTIR, Pulsar GTIR. So this SR20 is going to be turboed and have ITBs, I think. But this is one of the original hot hatches. This and like the Volkswagen GTI, this Pulsar GTI is one of the like OG tiny little super fast hatchbacks. I mean, turboed SR20 in something this small is going to kick pretty good. Ooh, SR20 Neo VVL. So these have some cam adjustments, but this is one of the better SR20s, I believe. Oh, copy, paste, Control-C, Control-V. And look at this, another R32 with a ski roof rack on it. This is a non-GTR variant though. And they got the skis on top. Another R32, little Civic race car. These wheels are great. Soarer. I sound like a broken record at this point. There's so many Soarers here. Honda NSX. I wonder if this is a Type R NSX. I don't know exactly how to tell, other than if it says it on the back. It does not. I don't know if they are, or if they do. It says Club NSX. He's got a little cover there for his engine. A couple Bluebirds. SSSR. Bluebird. And then I believe this is just a CRX, but with a bunch of Mugen stuff on it. And then there's also a ton of companies here. So Top Rank, there's Rays, Weds, there's Work Wheels, Endless Brakes are here too. Tons of Japanese brands. Look at how huge this is. I think we've covered maybe half of what's here. But all around there is Fuji Speedway, Mount Fuji, all of your vendors right here showing off the goods, showing off what they got. This is absolutely amazing. They need to do this for every single Japanese car from the 80s and 90s and earlier too. So all of these are body panels that you can cut out of your rusted out chassis and then just weld straight in. So all of the most prone to rusting parts are what they're going to do here. So they're going to do like core support pieces, these strut tower braces and Torius, all of your like frames, your frame rails and everything. And so it looks like they've even put in a couple pieces here. So whole front end, and then yeah, these strut tower braces go. So there's lots of folds of metal under here, so all of that rusts out. So you just cut this whole thing out. You could weld in one of those pieces. That's so nice. These are really cool. I think these are playing homage to old Japanese police cars. So they've got lights on them, and I'm surprised that they can run a blue and red light on top. But they've got all the antennas for the radio. This dude's got turrets. This guy's got guns on the front. And then obviously those doors are not factory at all. I wonder what they did for this. I wonder if it's like part of the T-top or something, and then they just cut a bunch. More police car-esque skylines. We've got an open wheel, slicked out carbon fiber race car. I'm sorry the announcers are yelling a bunch, but whole carbon fiber chassis. It's cool to look at all the suspension and stuff and see what they've done here. So many extra, or not extra arms, but like like seeing all of them empty like this, because like, so that would be your upper control arm. Down here's your lower control arm, and then axle, and then that, I'm not sure what that bar would be. This middle bar right here. I wonder if that's just like kind of like a trailing arm or something like that. Little rain light in the back. I wish they took some panels off of this. And then here is the other Sunny. Now, I saw this thing earlier. I'm a little bit confused. These are North American spec bumpers, and that's a North American spec grille. But I'm not sure if this guy just got the North American spec stuff and put it on, and he also has a Nissan Sentra sticker and a GXE. So I don't think any of this is what should be on here for Japan, but they might have come with all this stuff. And then it's got some like Momo Ferrari wheels. That's pretty funny. I'm sorry for the announcers screaming. Okay, the announcers are screaming, cars are revving. I'm gonna film some B-roll now, and so I'm gonna throw that in.
Baby, gon' take me on a date in a Benz truck, fun out of sleep. Yeah, I guess it's just my bad luck.